You have arrived at this video at the perfect moment in your life. The title, The Spiritual Truth, they hid from you since childhood, is not a random phrase. It is exactly what is unfolding within your soul right now. You sense it deep inside, even if you have never been able to put it into words before. This truth, carefully concealed from you since your earliest days, is now surfacing with an undeniable urgency. Rudolf Steiner, the profound spiritual seer, discovered that this hidden truth is not just a secret kept by others. It is a universal spiritual experience that everyone must confront on their path to awakening. Think about it. Since childhood, you have been living under layers of conditioning, told what to believe, what to fear, and what to ignore about your own spiritual nature. But this title reveals a deep spiritual reality, that there has been a veil drawn over your innate connection to the supersensible world, a world Steiner described as the true realm of your soul's origin and destiny. You are not merely a product of your physical environment. You are a being of light and spirit, and the moment has come to reclaim that knowledge. Have you ever felt an unexplainable void, a silent question echoing within you, as if something essential was missing? That is the spiritual truth they hid from you since childhood, calling out for recognition. This hidden truth is like a seed planted in the fertile soil of your being, waiting for the right conditions to sprout. Steiner's spiritual revelation shows that this seed is the spark of your higher self, the intuitive knowledge that connects you to cosmic forces beyond the visible world. You are not alone in this awakening. Historical figures like Joan of Arc, who heard divine voices despite opposition, Nikola Tesla, whose genius was fueled by unseen spiritual insights, and even modern seekers who break free from dogma, all exemplify the struggle and triumph of uncovering the spiritual truth hidden since childhood. Can you feel the tension between the life you were told to live and the spiritual freedom that beckons you now? This is the very essence of the spiritual truth they hid from you since childhood. The emotional weight of this concealed truth can feel overwhelming, like carrying a secret burden that shapes your entire existence. Yet it is precisely this burden that Steiner invites you to transform into your greatest strength. The spiritual truth they hid from you since childhood is not a curse, but a call to awaken your consciousness to the reality beyond the senses, to remember your soul's mission, and to step into the light of your own spiritual freedom. This awakening is not optional. It is the next stage in your evolution, the natural unfolding of your inner being. As you sit with this realization, ask yourself, how has this hidden truth shaped my life? What parts of my spiritual self have I been afraid to explore? The answers lie within you, waiting to be uncovered. In this first step, you have begun to validate the profound experience that the spiritual truth they hid from you. Since childhood is a universal spiritual phenomenon, it is the silent force behind your restless heart, the invisible thread pulling you toward awakening. Steiner's insights illuminate this hidden reality, inviting you to embrace it fully. The journey ahead will deepen your understanding and reveal how this truth is not just a secret, but a sacred key to your soul's liberation. Remember this, the spiritual truth they hid from you since childhood is awakening now, and you are ready to receive it. You are standing at the crossroads of your spiritual journey, and Rudolf Steiner's teachings offer you a profound explanation of why the spiritual truth they hid from you since childhood has remained concealed for so long. Steiner reveals that this truth is rooted in the very structure of human consciousness and its development through the interplay between the sensible and supersensible worlds. Since childhood, your soul has been navigating a world dominated by the senses, where materialism and external authority overshadow the inner spiritual reality. This is why the truth was hidden, not out of malice, but because the collective consciousness was not yet prepared to receive it fully. Steiner's spiritual revelation is that your soul's mission involves awakening from this sensory sleep, breaking free from the karmic chains that bind you to inherited beliefs and illusions. The spiritual truth they hid from you since childhood is the knowledge that you are a spiritual being having a human experience, not the other way around. This reversal of perspective is the key to your liberation. Imagine your soul as a bird, trapped inside a cage built by societal conditioning. Steiner shows you how to unlock that cage through conscious spiritual work, allowing your true self to soar freely in the cosmic skies. This awakening process begins with recognizing the dual nature of your existence, the sensible world you perceive with your physical senses, and the supersensible world accessible only through inner development. Steiner explains that the spiritual truth they hid from you since childhood is precisely the bridge between these two realms. It is the intuitive knowledge that your soul can access higher spiritual realities, communicate with spiritual beings, and receive guidance from cosmic forces shaping your destiny. This is not fantasy, but a spiritual fact that you are invited to rediscover. Consider the lives of individuals who embody this awakening. Helena Blavatsky, who unveiled hidden spiritual wisdom despite fierce opposition. Martin Luther King Jr., Bohakara, whose vision was fueled by a deep spiritual conviction transcending the visible world. And even everyday people who experience moments of profound synchronicity and insight, signaling the stirring of this hidden truth. Their experiences are living proof that the spiritual truth they hid from you since childhood is accessible and transformative. Have you noticed moments in your life when reality seemed to shift, when intuition spoke louder than reason? Those moments are the spiritual truth breaking through the veil. Now, the solution Steiner offers is not passive acceptance, but active engagement. You are called to develop your consciousness deliberately, cultivating spiritual faculties such as meditation, moral imagination, and ethical intuition. This conscious development is the path to reclaiming the spiritual truth they hid from you since childhood and integrating it into your daily life. As you embark on this path, you will begin to perceive the subtle forces at work behind your experiences, understand your karma more deeply, and align with your soul's higher purpose. If you feel drawn to explore this awakening further, subscribing to this channel will support your journey. Here, you will find guidance to deepen your understanding of the spiritual truth they hid from you since childhood and practical steps to live it fully. I invite you now to share in the comments, how is this hidden spiritual truth manifesting in your life? What signs or experiences have you noticed that point to this awakening? Your story matters because it is part of the collective unfolding of spiritual freedom. Remember, the spiritual truth they hid from you since childhood is not a distant myth, but a living reality calling you to awaken. Steiner's revelation is your map, and your conscious effort is the key. Together we will continue to unravel this sacred mystery and step boldly into the light of your true spiritual nature. You are now entering the crucial phase of your spiritual journey, where the spiritual truth they hid from you since childhood begins to unfold within your consciousness like the dawn breaking over a long night. Steiner teaches that awakening to this hidden truth is not instantaneous. It is a gradual process of inner transformation that requires courage, patience, and deliberate effort. You are living this now. The tension between what you were taught and what your soul knows deep down is the fertile ground where your spiritual freedom will sprout. Imagine your soul as a deep well filled with clear, pure water. The spiritual truth they hid from you since childhood is that water, waiting to be drawn up and quenched. But the well has been covered by layers of sediment, fear, doubt, societal conditioning. Steiner's spiritual revelation shows you how to clear these layers through conscious self-observation and meditation, allowing the intuitive knowledge buried within to rise to the surface. This is your awakening process, a reclaiming of your inner light that has been dimmed but never extinguished. You might ask yourself, how do I begin to awaken to this truth? Steiner's guidance points to developing what he called spirituals, organs within you, new faculties of perception that go beyond the physical senses. This means cultivating your imagination, inspiration, and intuition as real tools to perceive the supersensible world. When you practice this, you start to notice synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that are not random but cosmic messages, affirming that the spiritual truth they hid from you since childhood is revealing itself to you. Have you experienced moments when everything seemed to align perfectly, as if the universe was speaking directly to you? Those moments are the spiritual truth breaking through your everyday reality. Historical figures like Carl Jung, who explored the depths of the unconscious and the collective soul. Maria Montessori, who emphasized the spiritual development of children beyond mere academics, and even contemporary spiritual teachers who emphasize inner awakening, all embody this process. Their lives show that awakening to the spiritual truth, hidden since childhood, is not only possible, but essential for fulfilling your soul's mission. You are part of this lineage, and your awakening is a vital piece of the cosmic puzzle. This awakening also involves confronting your karma, the spiritual consequences of past actions and inherited patterns. Steiner reveals that by embracing the spiritual truth they hid from you since childhood, you begin to understand your karmic challenges not as punishment, but as opportunities for growth and liberation. This shift in perspective is transformative, allowing you to step into your spiritual freedom with grace and clarity. As you move through this process, practical integration becomes essential. Steiner encourages you to bring this awakening into your daily life through ethical living, compassionate action, and conscious decision-making. The spiritual truth they hid from you since childhood is not meant to remain abstract. It must become your lived reality, shaping how you relate to yourself, others, and the world. This is the path to true spiritual freedom, the freedom to live authentically, guided by your higher self. Are you ready to continue this awakening, to embrace the spiritual truth that has been waiting for you since childhood? The next block will guide you through the full resolution of this journey and how to integrate it practically into your life. Remember, this awakening is your birthright, and Steiner's wisdom is your guide. You have journeyed far, and now the moment arrives to fully embrace the spiritual truth they hid from you since childhood, not as a distant concept, but as a living, breathing reality that transforms your entire existence. Steiner's spiritual revelation culminates here. This truth is the key to your spiritual freedom, the liberation of your soul from the chains of ignorance and conditioning that have bound you since your earliest days. You are living this now, stepping into a new phase where the hidden becomes visible, the silent becomes spoken, and the unseen becomes your guiding light. This resolution is not an endpoint, but a new beginning. Steiner teaches that by integrating this spiritual truth, you align yourself with your soul's mission and the cosmic forces that shape your destiny. You begin to live consciously, aware that every thought, feeling, and action resonates beyond the physical realm, influencing your karma and the collective evolution of humanity. This is the profound freedom that comes from knowing the spiritual truth they hid from you since childhood. It empowers you to create your life with intention and grace. Practical integration means embodying this truth daily. It means cultivating mindfulness in your relationships, choosing compassion over judgment, and seeking wisdom beyond surface appearances. Steiner's guidance encourages you to develop spiritual disciplines, meditation, ethical reflection, and service that anchor this awakening in your everyday life. The spiritual truth they hid from you since childhood becomes your compass, helping you navigate challenges with clarity and purpose. Can you feel the shift within you, the blossoming of a new consciousness that no longer accepts half-truths or illusions? Look to the examples of those who have lived this integration. Mahatma Gandhi, who transformed political struggle into a spiritual movement rooted in truth and nonviolence. Hildegard von Bingen, whose mystical visions informed her healing and creativity, and countless unsung heroes who live quietly but powerfully in alignment with their awakened souls. Their lives demonstrate the practical power of embracing the spiritual truth hidden since childhood, not as an abstract ideal, but as a dynamic force shaping reality. As this truth becomes your foundation, you experience a deep sense of peace and purpose. You understand that the spiritual truth they hid from you since childhood is not a secret to hoard, but a light to share. This channel exists to support you in this ongoing awakening, offering insights and tools to deepen your connection to your higher self and the spiritual world. If this journey has touched you, I invite you to subscribe and continue exploring these transformative teachings. Now I ask you, how will you apply the spiritual truth they hid from you since childhood in your life? What changes will you make to live more authentically and freely? Share your intentions in the comments below. Your commitment inspires others and strengthens the collective awakening. Remember, this channel is dedicated to your spiritual awakening, exactly as promised in the spiritual truth they hid from you since childhood. Your journey is sacred, your truth is powerful, and your freedom is waiting. Step boldly into the light of your true self, knowing that the hidden has been revealed and the time for awakening is now.